Hello everyone and welcome to the Vortex, where lies and falsehoods are trapped and exposed. I'm Michael Voris. Did you ever wonder about donuts? Yes, donuts. Curious little things, really. Some deep-fried pastry with a big chunk, big hole missing from the middle. People who make donuts must be laughing all the way to the bank. Imagine the backroom discussion in the average donut factory. Hey, Sal, charge them $1 for that donut, but first rip out the middle of it. They'll think it's cool not getting the whole thing. Imagine dropping in your favorite steakhouse and getting served a steak with a giant hole in the middle of it, or sitting in the school lunchroom and being able to look through the hole in your peanut butter and jelly sandwich that your mom made for you. I was having a donut this weekend and got to thinking, what's supposed to be in that hole anyway? Then on the way home, I noticed something very peculiar, rather eerie actually, an eerie similarity between vacuous donuts and Obama's official logo. Lots of feel-good stuff around the center, but absolutely empty on the inside. But there's more to his logo than meets the eye, although in some ways it's a very telling logo. Much like what Obama has to offer in the way of good, his logo is a big fat zero, nothing, nada. Oh, but the Messiah would have you think he is the answer to all your problems. A vote for Zero Obama and all your pains will come to an end. Racism will exist no more. Oceans will roar as they recede back to their pre-Barack levels. Mountains will bow down at the sound of his name. That's what those cute little candy stripe things in his logo, that's what they stand for, the ones right in the middle. The road to perfect happiness on this earth brought about by the Messiah and King, the enlightened Obama. He will show us the way. There's something more than sinister and demonic about world leaders suddenly appearing from nowhere on the world stage with a pledge to institute heaven on earth. With the exception of the real king of the world, never in human history has a mysterious figure appeared seemingly from nowhere, carrying the might of political authority with throngs of enraptured adorers in tow. Never has this happened without some group paying a heavy price. What will Zero Obama put in that hole? He has no intentions of leaving it empty. He has a plan, and the fact that he has been mighty quiet about it and evasive about it, this is very telling. He traveled throughout the Muslim world as a young fellow with no particular means of financial support. His backers from an early age were a combination of political terrorists, shady businessmen, and left-wing pro-Muslim groups. Make no mistake about this. The hole in the middle of the Obama plan is socialism in its rawest form. And since Americans don't particularly like the word socialism, Obama just leaves his agenda blank. He doesn't release vital information from his past. He won't discuss any substantive detail of what his health insurance plan covers, for example. Will abortions be paid for with your tax dollars? Will doctors be able to opt out of certain medical practices because of their religious objections? No word from Obama. This is a man who has never had any real-world business experience. Zero. Every dollar he has spent has been government money, from his community organizer budget in Chicago to your tax dollars to pay for abortions. He wouldn't know what a free enterprise dollar looked like unless he could tax it. Be certain of this. A man who has ministers standing up in their pulpits and calling him the Messiah, which is a fact, who makes statements like, "We are the ones that we've been waiting for," that this election will cause the oceans to recede. These are all quotes from him, folks, who inadvertently talks about his Muslim faith, who ducks questions about his past, and sits in a decidedly anti-American minister's church for 20 years, listening to the rantings of a preacher who says the federal government invented AIDS to kill blacks, and he says he had no idea this sort of thing was being said, and on and on and on. This is a man who is all about change to socialism, where the government takes over everything from your mortgage, which they've just done, to your education, which they've already done, to health care, which they're about to do, to your job, that's next. A land where paying taxes is considered patriotic by his vice president, and religion needs to shut up and go along unless, of course, it's a liberal-leaning denomination. This is how Obama intends to fill the hole in his agenda. He knows full well what he's planning to put in there. He's just not telling the rest of us. We'll find out, but only when it's too late. Come November, remember Obama. Soft on terrorists, but tough on fetuses. I'm Michael Voris.